And damn, there we go. Good morning. Almost had some breaking news yesterday. I know I'm gonna get the hey. We're here in Boomer Vision, you know. Boom. Yeah, I know. This is how long it takes me to see you guys. I already know that. Anyway, as you know, Bernie ended his campaign yesterday. Here's a little taste of what he had to say.
As a member of the Democratic leadership in the United States Senate, and as a senator from the state of Vermont, this is something that I intend to intensely be involved in over the next number of months, and that will require an enormous amount of work. Which takes me to the state of our presidential campaign. I wish I could give you better news, but I think you know the truth. And that is that we are now some 300 delegates behind Vice President Biden, and the path toward victory is virtually impossible. So while we are winning the ideological battle, and while we are winning the support...
Wait, what? I don't mean to cut off Senator Sanders, who I have tremendous respect for Bernie Sanders. Not because I agree with anything that he espouses. No, I wouldn't say anything, but not that I'm a fan of Bernie Sanders, not that I would support Bernie Sanders. But if there is a more consistent senator in the United States Senate or in the government who believes what he believes, although he kind of screwed the pooch in 2016 when he backed Hillary. But he is what he is. Anyway, let me finish this up real quick.
Support of so many young people and working people throughout the country.
Oh, but if he was winning the ideological battle, I think he would be the nominee right now. But apparently that ideological battle is not won, and thus he's quitting. Anyway, let him finish.
I have concluded that this battle for the Democratic nomination will not be successful. And so today, I am announcing the suspension of my campaign. Please know that I do not make this decision lightly. In fact, it has been a very difficult and painful decision. Over the past few weeks, Jane and I, in consultation with top staff and many of our prominent supporters, have made an honest assessment of the prospects for victory.
Why was Jane involved in that? Well, never mind. Whatever.
If I believed we had a feasible path to the nomination, I would certainly continue the campaign. But it's just not there.
Which is fascinating. And partly because, well, one, he wasn't going to win it anyway. But two, shit's all messed up thanks to the Coronapocalypse. So anyway, I'll finish this out.
I know that there may be some in our movement who disagree with this decision.
Well, of course they do.
Who would like us to fight on to the last ballot cast at the Democratic Convention. I understand that position. But as I see the crisis gripping the nation, exacerbated by a president unwilling or unable to provide any kind of credible leadership.
What? Bitch, please. Just because oh my God. I'm going to hold my tongue for a moment.
And the work that needs to be done to protect people in this most desperate hour. I cannot, in good conscience, continue to mount a campaign that cannot win and which would interfere with the important work required of all of us.
Okay, at least he's self-aware.
But let me say this very emphatically.
What is that? What do you got?
As you all know, we have never been just a campaign. We are a grassroots, multiracial, multi-generational movement which has always believed that real change never comes from the top on down, but always from the bottom on up.
Yeah. Okay, enough. All right, so it's funny because the idea that the administration's doing nothing is just one of those just bullshit talking points that so many have. And, with the new congressional committee or whatever they're trying to do, that Pelosi announced with Adam Schiff that they're going to try to investigate. What did the president know and when did he know it? And it's just Oh my God. There's so much. There is so much to say about that. But I got to play an intro, so let's do that first and we'll come back to all this mess. Play the intro, Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. And stop the music. Bam! Hello, welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, me, Marty, also known as P. Dog Night on the internet. Yes, the lawyer dog is in the house. I am... Although I'm not a lawyer in real life, I just play one on the internet. And it is Thursday. I got the right day this time. Thursday, April 9th, 2020. I almost said 2019. That's still stuck in my head, but it is 2020. And I am so glad that so many of you have dropped in to see the show. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all. I noticed that when I think I'm going to do this on the regular, I'm going to set up my shows the night before, because apparently more people get notifications if I do that. You get the half-hour warning, and a lot of you get the actual new whatever notification. What music is Thursdays again? Well, Thursdays, there's not a real set thing, but today we're doing a little R&B. And in fact, thanks for reminding me, Richo, because I'm going to get that rolling here. I got to make sure I got the sound right. Ooh, that's pretty good. Oh, you're going to like this. Some of you like to talk to me about putting on the 70s porn music, right? Well, this first one is, let's just say the description. Oh, wait a minute. The description of this one is laid back and sexy. Wrong button. Let's see if you agree. Here it goes. Oh. Sounds like the beginning of a Barry White song. Right on. Oh, babe. I wish I knew the words to this, but this one doesn't have words right now. Oh, when it took me on into your loving arms, I get a feeling, baby, all your charm. Yeah, it does sound like some Barry White shit, don't it? If y'all know what I mean. Anyway, it is the Morning Night Live. Just so you know, if you like what we do, hit the like button sometime during the show. I'll remind you at the end. Also, the sharing is caring, okay? If you happen to follow me on Twitter, please retweet the tweet. Don't like the tweet, retweet the tweet. I just put that out. Also, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. I know it's tough times. Don't what's the word? Do not put yourself in any detriment to do that. I'll be fine if you don't, but I do appreciate the people who do that. And there are, if you go on the pdognight.live site, it'll tell you what this different dollar amounts do if you want to do a special notification to pop up. Let's say good morning to everybody real quick. Now, just FYI, Richo and Gunfox were here very, very early. So this bell is for both of you guys, because you guys were having quite the conversation. What the hell's wrong with my bell? Here, I'll do a manual bell until that one works. You guys get the bell because you guys were having quite the conversation before we even got most people in here. Also, good morning to Merle Davis, who was also here early, and y'all were talking a lot. I'm like, I have to scroll all the way down here just to find another person. Good morning, Maniac Man, also. And let's see here. Good morning, Grillin' Pirate Pete, Sean, and oh man, I have to scroll a lot. Good morning, John Connor. I already said Grillin' Pirate Pete. Gunfox 61, I already said because you were one of the first ones here. Who else is here? Good morning, Smarty Bear, Chi-Town Jay, the Dead Kaiser. Good morning, Augusto Pinochet. Good morning, Mr. President. Wikipedia snippet, and let's see, Di Freighter. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Jack Fernstum. Okay, I'm having to scroll a long way for that. And Pete, yeah, you made it, Pete. I'm glad you figured it out. Yes, Pete. By the way, your question I was going to answer you when I in the chat on Monkey in the Morning, but I listen to Monkey in the Morning while I'm at work. The answer is we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Also, good morning to Hey Larry. All you need. This is Kyle. TC Ball, Cynical Lindsay. Everyone's popping in. We got a full house. That's fantastic. And let's get it going. All right, now I'll turn my headphones down a bit. I don't know why my bell didn't work. There's something weird. I don't know why this always does this. I had this all set up, ready to go. Is any of these working? Hang on, let's try a couple. Oh, I get it. None of them are working. Ah, there we go. Well, there's one. It's really annoying.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Why is my phone ringing? Who's calling me at this time in the morning? Brad and Terry. Okay, that's our old render. I'm not answering that right now. All right. Let's get it rolling. I just need to. Linda, how are you today? And why are you? Okay, so why is this bell not working? All right, give me a second here. Least professional. I'm not the least professional, but I tend to have issues with my sound effects. Yeah, there, that worked. Maybe it's just the. Let's see. Let's try this. All right, whatever. Okay, let's just get into the show because a couple things that happened yesterday that I kind of got annoyed about when I saw this report. Now, there was this report on ABC News yesterday, and it also showed up in the Daily Mail to the effect that, and this is hilarious to me because you're seeing this kind of stuff. When should they have known, and when should they have started taking action about the Coronapocalypse in the United States? And so there was a report that said the White House was briefed by medical intelligence specialists about spreading the contagion in China as early as November. November. It's amazing. They should have known in November. There's a little problem with that scenario. I'm just saying. And I'm going to show you the report first because this is the breathless report on ABC News. And what really bothers me about this especially is by Michael Strahan, who I just really like, the looks he gives when he talks about this. But here's the report from ABC News, which they, I'll tell you how they should feel about it later, but here we go. Here it is. Listen to this report from ABC News. Breathless report. Here it goes.
Breaking news, an exclusive ABC News investigation out this morning reports that the National Center for Medical Intelligence...
Oh, hang on. Before I do that, I'm going to stop. Thank you, Cryptic. Cryptic is in the house. And the early super chat, Cryptic says... Oh, God. That's not what they were saying, but let me tell you what Cryptic has here in the super chat. Jack and Jill went up the hill so Jack could lick Jill's candy. But Jack got a shock and a mouthful of cock because Jill's real name is Randy. Thank you, Cryptic, for the $5 super chat. Yes, if you want to be a permanent part of the show, you can always hit that Streamlabs link. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and tips in the tip jar. They fall in that little thing right there on the corner there. By the links in the chat and in the description down below. Thank you, Cryptic. That's oh, my YouTube channel's gonna get deleted. Anyway, here's the the breathless report from ABC News from yesterday.
Breaking news, an exclusive ABC News investigation out this morning reports that the National Center for Medical Intelligence warned the military and the White House late last year about the spread of coronavirus in China.
Oh, they warned? Who? Wait, who did he say he warned?
The White House late last
Warned
year
the White House late
in
last year
China.
about the threat of coronavirus
A senior White House correspondent
spreading in China. Huh. Now, who's the source of this?
virus in China. Our senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega joins us now with the details.
Oh, here's Cecilia Vega. She's one of the people who sits in on those briefings every day. Or she's one of them. Her and John Carl. Sometimes it's her. Sometimes it's John Carl. I got to turn this music down. This music's too loud, isn't it? All right, hang on a second. I'll fix this. Let me fix this. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting together a new system here one of these days. There we go. There, that's much better. Music's too loud. All right, let's get back to this report and whatever her name, Suzanne Vega. I thought Suzanne Vega, wasn't that a singer? Anyway, here we're back. Here's the rest of this report.
Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. So it was just yesterday that President Trump said no one had even heard of the virus 2 months ago, but we are now learning that as far back as late November, American military medical investigators overseas sounded the alarm to officials right here at home about a contagion that was sweeping through Wuhan.
Now, hold up. Here, listen to what very carefully to what she just said. Warn them of a contagion late November that was sweeping through Wuhan. Huh. And
Concerns that the virus could be devastating were detailed in a report, and multiple sources have described that report to our team.
Multiple sources have described that report to our team. Now, that is fascinating. Late November, sweeping through Wuhan, multiple sources describing that report. I want you to remember these words. Remember these words very carefully.
It's not just that. There were repeated briefings for policymakers across the federal government through
Repeated briefings? Really?
December, and by early
Through December. Fascinating.
January, the warnings made it into the president's daily briefing.
Oh, now there's something that's interesting. In January, in theory, it made it into the president's daily briefing. January what? I'm just curious. Because by January, China had actually notified the WHO. But there's a whole lot of stuff that was going on in January concerning this. But let's keep going.
But it wasn't until late January that President Trump made his first public comments about this virus, saying that he wasn't at all worried about it and that he had it totally under control. Of course,
why? And we'll tell you about why that was the day he said that they thought they had it under control. There's a specific reason why they might have thought that.
this is now raising serious questions about whether the administration could have ramped up the response efforts.
Ramped up the response? When did, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So they said there was a report that this virus was sweeping through Wuhan, China in November. Sweeping through Wuhan. There's a report, multiple sources.
So far, no comment from the Pentagon or officials at the White House.
Well, we know you're going to stay on them today, Cecilia.
And look, now watch Michael's face as he says this.
Heard the president, in the middle of his pandemic, he threatened to cut off funding to the World Health Organization.
He's a little upset about that, isn't he?
No, he did. You're right, Michael. And it's because he says he's angry with the group, saying that they've been too China-centric during this outbreak. And he said point blank, we're going to put a very powerful hold on the money given to them. But then just a few minutes later, he seemed to backtrack, saying that he's now strongly considering it, Michael. But if this does happen, it would be huge. The U.S. is the largest single contributor to the WHO. We're talking hundreds.
Kind of weird. We're the largest single contributor to the WHO. I wonder why. I wonder why we are by far. I mean, granted, we have the ability to do it, and I don't know. I mean, I look. The WHO could be, and well, should be a kind of a non-political entity that should be able to be. It should be the response team, so to speak, for anything like this, because you can't, like a virus like this doesn't have borders. But remember the word she said, multiple sources seen the report. November sweeping through Wuhan.
Millions of dollars, Michael.
And not long ago, he was praising the WHO. Thank you so much, Cecilia.
Yes, Michael, it's disgusting that not long ago that he was praising the WHO. So that report came out yesterday morning, right? Well, does this thing work yet? I'm not getting the bell. Let's try this. Okay, that one worked. NCMI director counters ABC story claiming November intelligence document laid out coronavirus concerns. Dr. R. Now, this is very unusual because they don't usually comment on anything. You'll see the tweet here in a minute. Dr. Shane Day, director of the Defense Intelligence Agency National Center for Medical Intelligence, NCMI, issued a statement on Wednesday. Almost immediately countering ABC News' claim that his agency laid out coronavirus concerns in a November intelligence report. Now, before I even go on from that, though, think about this. So they're saying it in Wuhan in November. Do you know what the earliest case they finally have figured out of this particular virus was? November 17th. It wasn't, obviously this virus was not sweeping through Wuhan in November. So why would they have even had a report like that? In fact, even in December, there were less than 50 cases, and they were just really figuring out how bad it was. And that's when they failed to get help. But that's when it really actually started going into, that's when they started seeing the problems in Wuhan. And I can document that easily. And it was December 31st that China finally notified the WHO about this. And at the time, sweeping, there were 59 cases that they, at least, now China could have been lying their asses off, I don't know, but sweeping through China, and at the time, it was said that there was no human-to-human transmission. They were, even though there were signs that was not the case, that there was human-to-human transmission, and we can talk about that too. But how would there be a report in November that a coronavirus? Also, by the way, you realize a coronavirus, just saying a coronavirus, just because most people never heard of coronavirus before, coronavirus isn't a new thing. Not the general term coronavirus. Okay, it's not like there's all kinds of coronaviruses. This is a particular type of coronavirus that we didn't know about before. But coronaviruses have been around forever. In fact, go look at if you have a can of Lysol in your home, it says right on the can and the things that this particular stuff kills, the word coronavirus is on your can of Lysol because it kills certain types of coronavirus or prevents the spreading of certain types of coronavirus. Her just using the generic term, a coronavirus, like coronavirus. No. No. The coronavirus is just a type of virus. This is a particular unknown strain or previously unknown strain of coronavirus. And it wasn't sweeping through Wuhan in November. It started to go in December, and then it really started sweeping through Wuhan in January, and by February, they were locking people into their houses. The report released by ABC News Wednesday morning claimed, quote, U.S. intelligence officials were warning about that a contagion was sweeping through China's Wuhan region, changing the patterns of life and business and posing a threat to the population. The first case was in November that they know about. They had 58 by December 31st. The first case left China in mid-January, or at least discovered in January. Two officials familiar with the document's contents reportedly told ABC that those concerns were detailed in a November intelligence report by the military's National Center for Medical Intelligence, the NCMI. And we just saw the story. The source told the news outlet that a detailed explanation of the problem appeared in President Trump's daily brief of intelligence matters in early January. A detailed explanation of the problem. You mean like the one that we had from the WHO? In early January, they said. It was detailed. Yes, sources said. Sources. Still can't get my bell to work. That's disappointing. Anyway, here.
Wow.
The timeline of the intel side of this may be further back than we're discussing, a source reportedly told ABC, but this was definitely being briefed beginning the end of November as something the military needed to take a posture on. However, there's a problem. So this guy, W.J. Hennigan, whoever he's from, the director of DIA's National Center for Medical Intelligence issues a rare, unrequested statement regarding COVID. Here's the official statement by Colonel Dr. R. Shane Day, Director, National Center for Medical Intelligence, Defense Intelligence Agency. As a matter of practice, the National Center for Medical Intelligence does not comment publicly on specific intelligence matters. However, in the interests of transparency during this current public health crisis, we can confirm that media reporting about the existence, release of a National Center for Medical Intelligence coronavirus-related product or assessment in November of 2019 is incorrect. No such NCMI product exists. I am looking for the ABC News retraction. Sources said. It's funny how there's always sources said. I'm trying to figure out too, how is it? How does this always happen? Is it just something they want so bad that they have to make shit up, or somebody made this shit up? Now here's what I'm really wondering. Could this be an op? Could it be an op by the Chinese or someone in? Who knows? Who makes this shit up? If they find one and they can show you the paper, then I'll be convinced there is one. But the director himself makes a rare appearance to say that no such document exists. Well, you know what else is the problem? there was no one that would have had that information at the time, because that was the very beginning of the problem. Now, granted, look here, let's go into something else here. Oh, by the way, real quick, thank you Tech Force Prime, Maddie, Necrosol Collins, for sharing out the show today. Just wanted to make sure I thank all of you. Is Maddie here? Or Maddie, are you lurking somewhere today? Good morning, Jen T. I'm glad to see you too. Sean DW already said hello too. I think I did. Sean, you were here earlier, right? Or maybe not. Good morning, Sean. Okay, my bad. Hello, Sean. And anyone else I haven't said good morning to? Kevin Stillwell, how you doing? All right, let's. The bullshit flows constantly. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I'm just looking at tweet here. Balancing health and safety and getting economy started has been something from city level, state, and federal. 16 million filed unemployment in the last 3 weeks. I'd like to know the data businesses that shut down for good, to know how many businesses we lost because of this. Yeah, that's an interesting tweet from my friend Ace the Capitalist. All right, let's move on. So we know that if you're hoping to come here because Bernie quit, bye. Even though I do have respect for Bernie Sanders. I think he's what's the word? Communist, but you know, whatever. He's a good man who sticks to his principles, even though I think he's wrong most of the time. That's all I got to say about Bernie. Let's see. There is one report here about him conceding. Let's check this out from the Federalist. Comrade Sanders concedes revolutionary defeat. Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont ending his presidential campaign Wednesday after a turbulent primary with more than 25 major candidates in the race at one point. Ultimately, former Vice President Joe Biden ended up as the presumptive nominee after all. Together, we have transformed America's consciousness as to what kind of nation we can become. Well, apparently not enough, because you are no longer in the race and you were getting your ass handed to you in the last few primaries. It wasn't looking good for Bernie. There was really no path for Bernie to win. Unless Joe had another aneurysm or something, which we pray that he doesn't. Yeah, I really want Joe in the race. I want to watch those debates. I'm looking forward to the debates between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and see if Joe can concentrate all the way through a full debate and whatnot. Because the people always talking about him stuttering. He has a stuttering problem. Well, here's the problem with that. I know people who have stuttering problems. Stuttering problems do not make you lose your train of thought. They just make it hard for you to express them verbally, okay? They make you stutter, but they don't make you go through 7 different subjects in the same sentence, which is what Joe Biden does, okay? So and in fact, if you've ever watched Joe Biden, from like video from the 90s or when he was vice president or all the, for the last 30 years, he never had a stuttering problem when he was talking. He had let's see, what would I call this? He had a brain fart problem. He had a foot and mouth problem, but he didn't have a stuttering problem. This is not stuttering. His brain wasn't stuttering. Stuttering is when your words stutter, not your entire brain. Okay? Bernie. See, now I'm turning into Joe Biden. Joe Biden has Joe Biden problems. Anyway, by the way, hi to, I just saw under the name, Bob H. How you doing, buddy? Been a while? Nice, glad you're here. In fact, last 2 weeks we're supposed to hit our peak, and now this is week. Now it's this week. Wait, what? Okay, you're talking about coronavirus. What did you just say there? Oh, okay, y'all are having a conversation. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Anyway, so Sanders is leaving the race after capturing first place in only one out of the last 9 states where Biden swept, even as more than a dozen states postponed their elections over the Wuhan coronavirus. Wisconsin still held its primary on Tuesday, though results will not be reported until April 13th. Polling conducted in the Midwestern battleground showed Biden up by 28 points in Wisconsin. So anyway, that's why Bernie left. We know why Bernie left. He wasn't going to win. But here's the thing. they all suspend their campaigns. And Bernie still has some money in the coffers. And Bernie has a lot of delegates. I think what's going to happen is he's going to try to use those delegates to help to try to get at least some of his agenda on the platform. He's not giving up his delegates right away. He wants to hold some sway in the Democratic Party, even though Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat, and the Democrats couldn't give a shit about Bernie Sanders. They've been fucking with him for the last 5 years, and they're going to continue to fuck with Bernie Sanders. That's just how it goes. Good morning, Jay Wolf. I see you dropped in also. James Earl Jones did the voice of Darth Vader, has a stuttering problem that he has largely got under control. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who stutter. I think if you remember the country singer Mel Tillis, who could sing songs and never have a problem, and then he'd try to talk and he had a hard time talking, but he could sing beautifully, and but also when he did talk and you had him in an interview, he would stutter, but his train of thought never stuttered. He could continue a thought, he just couldn't get the words out. And it's just it's a brain to mouth issue that some people have. But Joe Biden is a brain to brain issue that he has. He can't complete a thought right now. Okay, and when he does, like sometimes he tries to put every talking point for 7 different issues into one sentence. And that's where he has the problem, and that's why he has to stop a lot. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on the internet, and even though I'm not a lawyer, I do play one on the internet, but whatever. It seems to me, now I've had 3 different relatives in my family who've gone through either Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease. And for me, I'm seeing the same early stages that I've seen in my grandmother, my great aunt, and my other great aunt. All 3 of them had this. You started seeing this. They started not being able to finish sentence, or they would change subjects in the middle of a sentence. And I can't diagnose that, but that's what I see when I hear Joe Biden talk. So there you go. All right, what did I have? Let's see. I have a bunch of stuff here. Gunfox sent me a couple good ones because I've been trying to give kind of perspective on some things that are happening in other countries due to this coronavirus thing. And Gunfox has been so gracious to send me a couple more articles that just tell you what's happening in other parts of the world. Here's one. Now, it's not necessarily completely coronavirus related, but sex, drugs, virus. Venezuela elites still party in a pandemic. In Miami, they wiled away the week on a sex and drug-fueled romp, dancing on white sand beaches and frolicking on a Caribbean island with prostitutes from Europe, some snapping selfies with famous reggaeton artist. I've never heard that term. But unbeknownst to several children of Venezuela's ruling elite, the coronavirus was spreading among them. For some of Venezuela's high-flying bolichicos, the privileged offspring of the socialist revolution, the party hasn't stopped amid a widening pandemic in a country already gripped in crisis. To date, the virus has claimed only 7 confirmed fatalities in Venezuela, but the potential is high for the pandemic to overwhelm an already crippled health system where hospitals lack water, electricity, and supplies. It's not clear how many people get sick last month on the Los Roques archipelago, but a raucous party that became a cluster of infections has raised concerns at the highest level of the government and drawn condemnation from Venezuela's lockdown in homes for weeks. There was a party on an island, and practically everybody at the party is testing positive, embattled leader Nicolas Maduro said on state TV on March 20th. 3 days later, as embarrassing Instagram posts leaked out under the hashtag coronavirus party, he downplayed it. Who's going to criticize a party? They didn't know they were sick, said Maduro, who was indicted by the U.S. last month on narcotics charges. So I don't need to read the whole thing, but the party elite had their little coronavirus party, and now they all have coronavirus. Not good. In Paris, apparently, Paris is dealing with the now. There's they've just hit that grim milestone, as the news people like to say, of 10,000 deaths in Paris. Paris is decided to ban exercise as lockdown tightens. Authorities in Paris have announced they will ban outdoor exercise between the hours of 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. as coronavirus lockdown tightens. Now, I don't get the time 10 a.m. between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Are they think less people will be out at 7 p.m. or before 10 a.m.? Anyway, all physical exercise, running, walking will be banned in Paris between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. from tomorrow, Wednesday, April 8th, as a part of an even stricter coronavirus lockdown by order Paris Police, Prefecture, and City Council, tweets Paris-based journalist Peter Allen. Indeed, the respondents question whether the new rule would just create a bottleneck of joggers and cyclists in the early and later hours, making social distancing even harder. That's what I would think. Okay, fine. You can't do it between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. I'm going to go for an early run, or I'm going to go for a late run. Oh, whoa. How do all these people have the same idea? Just curious. Moving on, we're going to, apparently in Rio, they're having a problem with surfers. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Despite stay-at-home orders aimed to protect people from the new coronavirus, many of Rio de Janeiro's famous beaches have been buzzing with surfers seeking to catch the season's first big swell. That has thrown surfers such as Guillaume Faria headlong into a public debate about the legal limits on outdoor sports. In this case, a question that will be soon decided by a judge. The 22-year-old said he was catching 9-foot curlers, dude. Come on, man. Hang 10. He was catching 9-foot curlers at Copacabana Beach on Sunday morning when a policeman with a whistle between his teeth hauled him out of the water and down to the station. Unfortunately, surfing is now a crime, said Faria, who received a court summons seen by Reuters after his booking. I hope I don't end up with a criminal record for something as silly as that. I have never... Have you ever got a citation for surfing? I know that I haven't. That's very interesting. All right. Wait, what song were we trying to remember here? P-Dog needs to take a month off to cover all of P-Dog's. Well, no, Gun Fox has cooled it a little bit, and just and also he gives me some great stuff, and some of it I'm already covering, and you just never know. Oh, thank you, Cryptic. We have another super chat via the Streamlabs link in the description, also in the chat there. Cryptic says, did the hookers get a viral load? Oh. Did the hookers get a viral load? Okay. Thank you, Cryptic, very much. I appreciate you more than you know. All right, so yeah, in Rio, they're having problems with surfers, and hang on a second here. Oh, and now, hey, the Italian health minister. This is another Paul Joseph Watson one. Italian health minister says no hugs and kisses until there's a coronavirus vaccine. Oh, well, that's now just real quick. That is a cultural thing in Italy. Italy's deputy health minister says there will be no more hugs and kisses until a vaccine for coronavirus is available. Pierpaolo Cialera cautioned that life would only return to normal once Italians are inoculated against the disease. A tsunami that struck northern Italy is gradually receding, but the hugs and kisses can only return to Italian life after a vaccine is found, said Cialeri. The current quarantine Italians are living under ends April 13th, with Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte indicating that the measures may begin to be relaxed after that date. The instructions will be particularly hard to take for Italians, who are notorious for their tactile nature. However, Cialeri's words are laced with irony, given the left-wing activists and the mayor of Florence encouraged Italians to hug a Chinese in public as late as early February in order to combat racism. Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because, like I've told you, we've been saying all week, there's direct flights from Wuhan because there's about 100,000 Chinese nationals who live in northern Italy because they work in these textiles and clothing companies that the bunch of Chinese businessmen bought. And so, you know, towards in early February, you know, apparently the people who didn't like people saying that this was a Chinese a virus from the country that shall not be named, they had a campaign to hug a Chinese person. And so look, I'm going to get back to this because this is very important for me to say. It's not about Chinese people. It's about people who have the possibility of having this virus that they didn't know was going to turn into a complete and utter shit show around the world. But at the time, that's where the virus was coming from, and they knew it. And with direct flights from Wuhan, it's not a shocker. And also the Italian culture of hugging and, you know, whatever, they called the tactile tradition. It's no surprise that this spread so quickly in northern Italy. So anyway, and then finally, the last one here. Apparently, critic who called Xi a clown over COVID-19 crisis is being investigated for serious violations. Now, remember when Wei Liang, the doctor who first was trying to sound the alarm on this, they arrested him and charged him with something too for talking about this, and he eventually succumbed to complications from having COVID-19, and he died, although some people think he may have been removed, so to speak. Well, now the guy who called him a clown is being investigated. Ren Zhihuang went missing last month after writing an essay criticizing the Chinese Communist Party's handling of the outbreak. Ren Zhihuang, an influential critic of the Chinese Communist Party who suggested President Xi Jinping was a clown. I thought he was Winnie the Pooh. Over his handling of the coronavirus outbreak is being investigated for serious violations of discipline. Now this is some communist shit right here. Serious violations of discipline and the law, Chinese anti-corruption authorities have said. The retired property executive, who remains a well-connected and vocal member of the ruling party, went missing last month after writing a critical essay about the outbreak. In mid-March, Ren's friends told Reuters they had not been able to contact him, and they were extremely anxious. Late on Tuesday, party officials said Ren was accused of violations that are widely used as a euphemism for corruption and graft. The short statement posted online said Ren was undergoing disciplinary review and supervision by the Beijing Discipline Inspection Commission. That just oh my gosh, they please don't insult the willy stuffed with fluffies, Winnie the Pooh, silly willy nilly old bear. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. Easy for me to say. Attack Alpaca. Yes, I'll say it very short. Hey, hello, Attack Alpaca. Anyway, late Tuesday, party officials... Okay, I already said that. Ren's essay took aim at a speech Xi made on 23rd of February and said it revealed a crisis of governance in the party. While it did not mention Xi by name, Ren reportedly wrote that he saw, quote, not an emperor standing there exhibiting his new clothes, but a clown stripped naked who insisted on continuing being the emperor. Well... I got two words for, I have two words. He did. All right. Anyway, Ren, he was in 2016. Ren was put on probation for a year as punishment for his public criticism of government policy. His social media accounts, which had tens of millions of followers, were shut down. Yeah, this is, you don't fuck with China from China. You need to get out the country before you fuck with China. And China says, well, you know, because we all know that, oops, that's the wrong one. Where does it? Oh, C, China.
China is asshole.
There we go. We all know that.
China is asshole.
Anyway, all right. You don't badmouth the dictator. Yeah, you don't. And notice now, let's take an example from that, okay? You know how they love to call President Trump a dictator or a fascist or a authoritarian? How many government officials who've criticized the president are missing right now? That many. That many.
China is asshole.
All right. Let's move on. Let's see. Oh, this one's gone. What happened to that article? Did they take it down? Oh, now. By the way, this is one that I'm sure this would warm your heart. This story, I promise, it will warm your heart. Nancy Pelosi named recipient of Profile in Courage Award. And my bell still doesn't work. I'm just so sad. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was named the recipient of this year's Profile in Courage Award by the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation. The award, which has been called the Nobel Prize for Public Figures, is given for an act or a lifetime of political courage. If you really want to hear this article, there, it's in the chat. You can read it yourself. I'm done. Hello, Mike Savage. What's happening? All right. Enough of that. I don't even want to read it. I read it once already, and I was having a hard time keeping food down. Let's see here. So apparently, why are my Bloomberg articles not coming back up? That's a bummer. Here we go. Now this is that's from April 1st. By the way, just this is just a reminder. Just a reminder, okay? This is from April 1st. And this is not an April Fool's joke. China concealed the extent of virus outbreak, according to U.S. intelligence. Shocker. Shocker. Holy shit. China has concealed the extent of the coronavirus outbreak in its country, underreporting both total cases and deaths it suffered from the disease. The U.S. intelligence community concluded in a classified report to the White House, according to 3 U.S. officials. Now, it's another one of these, according to officials. But you know what? Does it sound a little bit more probable than that other article from ABC? The report was received by the White House last week. One of the officials said the outbreak began in China's Hubei province in late 2019, but the country has publicly reported about 82,000 cases and 3,300 deaths, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. That compares to more than, well, now it's 300,000 cases in the U.S., but yeah, it's a pile of bullshit. We all know that. But, and also, just a reminder, as soon as this pops back up here, come on, there we go, come on. Just a reminder that I have too many windows open. It's not doing anything. Well, it'll pop up eventually. Anyway, the number of urns in Wuhan prompt new questions. The virus is told. This is from March 27th. Just a reminder that long lines and stacks of ash urns greeted family members of the dead at funeral homes in Wuhan, spurring the questions about the true scale of the coronavirus's casualties at the epicenter of the outbreak, renewing pressure on a Chinese government struggling to control its containment narrative. Families of those who come to the virus in the central Chinese city, where the disease first emerged in December, were allowed to pick up their cremated ashes at 8 local funeral homes starting late last week. As they did, photos circulated on Chinese social media of thousands of urns being ferried in. Outside one funeral home, truck shipped in about 2,500 urns on both Wednesday and Thursday, according to Chinese media outlet Caixin, I think it's called. Another picture published by Caixin showed 3,500 urns stacked on the ground outside. For those keeping track, that's 8,500 urns just in those 2 reports. It's unclear how many of the urns have been filled. People answered the phone at 6 of 8 the 8 funeral homes in Wuhan said they either did not have data on how many urns were waiting to be collected or were not authorized to disclose the number. I'm going to guess it's the latter. Why is my damn bell not working? My bell is so important to me. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Does it work here? And it works there. It's just not working over here. Why is it not working over here? That bums me out. Anyway, what's going on with this now? Okay, I'm just having all kinds of problems. Maybe this is the music's too involved. Anyway, so just the long story short of this article, on March 27th, by the count that they were that people were giving from these kind of internet reports, 45,000 urns as of March 27th. I have an actual bell. It's right there. It's just, I like the one in the, I like my sound effect bell better because it doesn't wake up my wife when I'm doing shows when she's sleeping. Anyway, all right. Now, so whenever things like this happen, you know that the most important thing on everyone's mind, and you know what, let me just show you this. FBI warns of potential surge in hate crimes against Asian Americans amid coronavirus. Critics say rhetoric has fueled ill will. That's the important thing. Now, I do this slightly in jest, but I also bring this up as a serious topic, and I very, very much repeat. I want to repeat this over and over and over, regardless of the origin from the country that shall not be named. It's not the Chinese people's fault that this is this worldwide problem. It is the Chinese government's fault that this is a worldwide problem for not immediately, when they find that they have a new contagious disease, to try to get some help, or at least try to figure out how they can contain it as soon as they start seeing people die. And what they're doing, what they did, that's not what they did. Instead, they hid it just a little too long, hoping they could get control of it. And then finally, and when people offered to come help, aka the CDC, the Center for our own Center for Disease Control, they rejected the help. Then they let the WHO come in at some point, but then look. So President Trump's really down on the WHO right now, right? And that's all well and good because the WHO seems to be somewhat of a mouthpiece for China. But look, one of the problems that also is the WHO is reliant on the members or the countries that participate in their, disease control programs. They're reliant on those countries to give them good information. And so China, and I will blame the WHO for not, not being more stringent in making sure the information was accurate. But even the WHO, we can blame them all we want, but the real culprit is the Chinese Communist Party. But it's not the Chinese people. And it's not Chinese people in America. Yes, wherever they travel from, if the virus has gone all over the world, not because of, even though the people are carrying it, it's not their fault. They didn't ask to get this disease, and they didn't ask to, they didn't want to be the ones to spread it. And so yes, maybe there's some asswipes out there who are going to go around attacking or being mean to Chinese people, but I don't think that's not the answer. But anyway, Law enforcement is warning of an increase of hate crimes against Asian Americans as the coronavirus crisis continues to grow. According to a new FBI analysis obtained by ABC News, it's more of ABC News. Here, let's go with the FBI assesses hate crimes incidents against Asian Americans likely will surge. Now, that's fascinating. That's a fascinating sentence right there. Listen to this sentence again. The FBI assesses hate crime incidents against Asian Americans likely will surge across the United States due to the spread of the coronavirus disease endangering Asian American communities. According to they have an ellipsis there. The end of the sentence, due to the spread of coronavirus disease, ellipsis, endangering Asian American communities. That's weird. What did they cut out of that sentence? According to the intelligence report, which was compiled by the FBI's Houston office and distributed to local law enforcement agencies across the country, the FBI makes this assessment based on the assumption. The assumption. So in other words, they don't have evidence. This is just their prediction. They're saying this without evidence. Now, have there been a few incidents around the country? Yes. But that's fascinating. This isn't this. The FBI makes this assessment based on the assumption that a portion of the U.S. public will associate COVID-19 with China and Asian American populations. Associate COVID-19 with China? Is there a way to disassociate COVID-19 with China? I don't know. The contagion has left much of the nation in near lockdown, caused thousands of deaths globally. It began late last year in a region of Wuhan in eastern China. Associated with China? It was, oh my God. Since then, many Americans, including President Donald Trump and other political leaders and media commentators, have adopted the practice of calling the ailment the China virus or some other variant that makes reference to China or Wuhan rather than coronavirus or COVID-19. When is this from? This is from March 27th. Wow. Well, we have dozens and dozens of examples of the media calling it the same thing. You've seen it. I'm not showing it again. Holy shit. All right, enough of this shit. Okay, let's get into the trends. Let's find out what's happening in the world. I had a couple articles. I'm not even going to get to them. Sanders supporters obliterate Foca has-been and Warren after he drops out. You should have endorsed him, coward. Yeah, people are all over Pocahontas for not endorsing Bernie Sanders, thinking that would have helped him win. Yeah, I think not. Also, let's see. I'll just give you a few headlines here. Sanders concedes, and it's just the way the Democrats, that DNC wanted. Yeah, right. Far left groups are banding together to issue a list of policy demands to Joe Biden. Wow. Maybe we'll look at this before we go into trends. This is from the Washington Free Beacon. Let's get it on the screen here. A coalition of left-wing groups with wide-ranging focuses. Shouldn't that be foci? Focuses is not a noun. Multiple focus are foci. Anyway, Brett, have united to issue a list of demands to former Vice President Joe Biden now that he's officially the Democratic presidential nominee. Well, let me just tell you something. Multiple coalition of groups of left-wing, whatever that said. Joe Biden won the nomination without your sorry asses. I don't know how you can think you can come make demands. Oh, man. What? Do you like the 5 News? Yeah, I do. We're going to talk about that sometime here, though. Go on, Fox. I'm answering you. Yeah, foci. Anyway, the Wednesday afternoon letter from self-described leaders from a diverse array of organizations building political power for young people came just hours after Senator Bernie Sanders announced he was ending his presidential campaign, cementing Biden as the party's nominee. The letter demanding Biden embrace far-left policies such as the Green New Deal, Medicare for All, and a wealth tax, which is perhaps the dumbest idea they've come up with. Yeah, let's just take their shit. Let's just take their shit. That stuff's already been taxed and all that. We're just gonna have you. You're gonna have to evaluate your. You're gonna have to get a what's it called? An appraisal on all your assets, and we're gonna take X amount of them every year. Fuck off. Anyway, with diverging policy focuses from foci, from climate change groups such as Next Generation America to anti-Israel, if not now movement. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this because if I were Joe Biden, I would say I have 2 words for you. I have 2 words for you. Get bent. Biden is getting there without those ideas. That's why Bernie lost. Why would Biden want to embrace those ideas? By the way, thanks Chi-Town J. And hang on a second here. What the hell did I do there? All right, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, Chi-Town Day and David Schoen for retweeting the show today. All right, let's get into the Twitter trends because it's that time. Let's see what's on the header first. Oh, shocker. It's coronavirus. Coronavirus UK lockdown process under review as death toll rises. It's happening all over Europe. And that guy from Germany who's telling me something about, oh, yeah, we got ahead of it in Germany. We did testing, yada, yada, yada. I don't think Germany is through this yet, but because the entire the entire EU and now the UK, since they're not really part of the EU anymore, is reeling like this, just like everybody else. You take the entirety of the EU plus its one former member and compare it to the United States. It's not even close to the number of cases and or deaths. It's far more prominent in the EU. They just don't have why, people are like, why didn't the United States get ahead of this early? Why didn't the EU? They're having far greater numbers as a region or whatever you call the EU. It's not a country, but it's a coalition of countries. Their coalition of countries is really fucked compared to our coalition of states. Anyway, the total number of global cases has surpassed 1.5 million, including more than 88,000 fatalities. Nearly 330,000 patients are reported to have recovered. Now, that's interesting because that means there's over 1 million active cases right now. But again, this is a world of 7 billion people. But still, that is very significant. The UK Prime Minister's condition is improving after a 3rd night in intensive care. Good, that's good for him. Number of cases in Spain surpasses the 150,000 mark. Sub-Saharan Africa to fall into recession for the first time in 25 years, the World Bank said in a forecast, because all the business in other parts of the world that have stopped is a big part of Africa's economy, import and exports of things. And right now, nothing's moving. U.S. reports nearly 2,000 deaths for the 2nd day in a row. Australia to evacuate stranded citizens in Peru, South Africa, and Argentina. Brazil reports largest daily increase in cases. France to extend nationwide lockdown.
Let's see. Is there anything new in this one? Boris Johnson approving. UK and Italy consider extending lockdown. German infections climb most in 5 days. So suddenly, Germany's up in the mix. I should have a chat with my German friend now, who was saying that they got it in the blood. They were testing, yada, yada, yada. Oh, German cases, infections climb most in 5 days. Well, where are you now, dude? I'm going to have a chat with him later. Spain believes they've reached their peak. New York may be reaching its peak in the outbreak, according to Dr. Fauci. And pandemic drives sub-Saharan Africa towards first recession in 25 years. So that's the update. I'm curious if U.S. cut straight through Italy's curve on course for the highest death toll globally within 5 days. Oh, this has got to be a... look, John Byrne Murdoch, there's probably a pretty good explanation for that. I still believe that the number of people who travel to and from China from different parts of the world is probably a pretty good explanation of why there are so many cases in comparison. Again, we have the largest Chinese population in the world outside of China. New York City is the city with the highest Chinese population in the world outside of China. Okay? That's if the more people who travel to and from that region and who have, and again, between December and January 31st, at least 14,000 people traveled from China to the United States and back and forth. It's just a fact where you have that's where the most opportunities for it are. Probably the reason it got caught up in France early, 700,000 people in France, Chinese nationals in France. The northern Italy, there's 100,000 people there, daily flights from Wuhan. Spain, another 500,000 Chinese people live in Spain. Germany, 130,000 people from China live in Germany. So there's probably not as many people traveling back and forth. There's going to be a lesser number of people who could have been contagious. Your guess is maybe 20,000. Yeah, they've changed their charts to about 60,000. This guy's okay. Let me see what's this guy saying. New Wednesday, April 8th, update of coronavirus trajectories. We've reverted to the 7-day moving average. Daily new deaths. Okay, whatever this says. U.S. cut straight through Italy's curve on course for the highest death toll globally within 5 days. Australia looking promising. UK still parallel to Italy. Yeah, okay, apples to oranges again. If you compare the US just to Italy, yeah, it seems it's not a good comparison. How about if you compare the United States to the entire EU? That's a better comparison. But we have 330 million people. Italy has 65 million. But let's look at the entire EU as a whole. We're doing better as a whole. Because look, here's they got the United States right here. But look, here's Spain, here's the UK, here's Italy, here's France, here's China. Not China. I don't care about China. Germany's in there somewhere in the next one, I think. Germany right there, the yellow line. U.S. infection still rising more steeply than in any other country this far into the outbreak. Reported Indian infections picking up speed after a slow early pace. The general director of the WHO, please quarantine politicizing COVID. If we want to win, we shouldn't waste time pointing fingers. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus urged, saying unity is the only option to defeat this virus. Well, we wouldn't politicize it if you'd stop spewing Chinese propaganda. All right, enough about coronavirus. I talk about it too much. Trending number 1 on the old Twitters today. Thursday is really popular today. 4 of the top 5 top trending things are Thursday. Let's go with Thursday thoughts today. Thursday thoughts, not Thursday thoughts. Here we go. When you thought 2020 couldn't get any worse, We have a pic of a half-naked Farage in a Boy Scout uniform posing in front of a dead squirrel in a jam jar. I wish I was making this up. Okay, I don't want to see Nigel Farage in that manner either. Hello, Duck Dog. What's up? That was completely unrelated to the half-naked Nigel Farage in a Boy Scout uniform. Anyway, let's see. Oh, Ms. Krasenstein. Yay! Brian Krasenstein, or his uglier twin brother, tweeting under their wife's name, says, if you're going to accuse Democrats of being too busy with impeachment to deal with coronavirus, you should probably recall that Trump was golfing and holding campaign rallies while telling Americans that coronavirus wasn't a pandemic at the same time. Well, Mr. Mrs. Krastein, shitbag, fuck face, rotted dick motherfucker. In January, it wasn't a pandemic yet, so fuck off. Anyway, someone named Renee Lynn, pointing at her hoots, I may not be Indian or a citizen of India, but I'm proud to walk the streets of America showing my love for India. When I come to India, I feel so proud that Modi is the prime minister. If I could vote, I would have voted for Modi. I'm not sure why. Oh, she's pointing at the I Love India, not her hoots. Never mind. The gayest person on YouTube. What's happening? I see you there. So these are Thursday thoughts. That's kind of a weird selection. Oh, whatever. All right, let's see here. Dad, excuse me. What happened to homeschooling? What happened to the homeschool you were meant to be doing? Kevin, I'm teaching Scampy maths. Dad, how exactly? Kevin, we're counting sheep. That's a good Thursday thought. Oh God, John Pavlovitz. Dear white evangelicals, I need to tell you something. Perhaps people have had it with you. They're done. I don't care. Oh, Krasenstein, one more Thursday thought. We're gonna move on. If you are an idiot who keeps saying that coronavirus will stop once the weather warms up, maybe you should come down to Florida where it's been in the high 80s for the past 2 months. The virus is thriving more down here than in most northern states. Thursday thoughts. Okay. Yeah, it's not, I don't know if it's about, I don't know. They said it doesn't spread as much in warm, humid climates, but of course you had the fucking spring breakers all on the beach all over Florida. I don't know how bad it's thriving down there. Obviously, the worst places they've been talking about are New York, Washington, Detroit, mostly northern states. But hey, okay, good point there. That's a good point by the either Brian Krasenstein or his uglier twin brother. Hey, a Thursday thought. There is a Thursday thought. I haven't seen a Thursday thought for a while. Someone named Lyric Lover, and it looks like she's clothed, so I can show you the Thursday thought. There we go. We got our first Thursday thought in a while. Although she didn't do it. She didn't do that. What you call it? She didn't really do the Twitter trend thought thing, the hashtag ho. Like, she didn't put all the hashtags on there. But, you know, every once in a while you have to have a Thursday thought show up. There she goes, showing her hind part. There you go. All right, there you go. Way to go, Lyric Lover, whoever you are. Congratulations, you're our Thursday thought of the day. All right, moving on. William Barr is trending. Why? Oh, somebody's probably bitching about him. Everything in this clip is fantastic, especially A.G. Barr trying not to laugh. Okay, let's see what that happens here.
Yes, I have a question for you. So we have a lot of very angry media all around this room, and they want one of these seats. But because of social distancing, we are keeping them empty, and they are keeping them empty. Will there ever be a time when all of those really angry people who don't like me much to start off with, but now they really don't like me, will there ever be a time when these seats are full to the brim like it used to be, where people are almost sitting on each other's lap, and this whole row over here is packed, and now they're outside wanting to get in, and they're very jealous of all of these reporters? Will we ever have that again, or is that something that will be it'll look like this forever.
So we're learning a lot about social distancing and respiratory diseases.
Bar.
And I think those are the discussions we have to have in the future. It was what you were talking about.
Okay, that is
changing
funny.
our whole behavior patterns of what we touch.
Bar, try not to laugh. That is hilarious.
I remember when
But
I
I don't
worked
think that's
Saturday morning, I was trying to
necessarily
think, what all did I touch on
why
Friday?
he's
Did I
trending.
touch a
Let's see.
doorknob?
Let's see. Glenn, do you feel like Trump may have been given a super long leash by the feds because he's a valued CI? If not, so okay, not that. Attorney General Barr, China is America's biggest threat. Maybe that's why he's trending. China is America's biggest threat. That sounded like, okay. Tom Fitton, media on a jihad to discredit Donald Trump and hydroxychloroquine. A.G. Barr claims the media reporting on anti-malaria drug took a turn after Donald Trump started promoting it. As soon as he said something positive about it, the media has been on a jihad to discredit the drug. It's quite strange. Okay, that's why he's trending. And here's Howard Dean. Yeah! Barr is a liar and functions not as Attorney General, but as Trump's personal attorney. He shouldn't eventually be disbarred. No pun intended. Holy shit. So, I keep seeing this clip. Previewing segment, Fox plans to air tomorrow. Barr says what happened to Trump in Russia investigation was one of the greatest travesties in American history. Probe, he says, was started without any basis, and steps taken post-election were meant to sabotage his presidency. Okay, that's why he's trending. So we'll see what that. I'm sure we'll see that segment sometime soon. Oh, here it is. Here's the preview on this. Let's watch this.
Surprised at how wildly partisan a response to this pandemic has become in the United States. I know everything's political, but this is about saving lives and saving the broader life of America.
I haven't seen Laura Ingraham in a long time. Did she get some work done or something? Like, she looks different. Or is it just they do more makeup at Fox? I don't know. I'm not used to, she looks really different.
From a drug like hydroxychloroquine that's been around for 65 years, 70 years, to other measures the president's taken, working with Democrat governors quite well, looks like. It never seems to be good enough.
No, I have been surprised at it. In fact, it's very disappointing because I think the president went out at the beginning of this thing and really was statesmanlike, trying to bring people together, working with all the governors, keeping his patience as he got these snarky gotcha questions from the White House media pool. And the stridency of the partisan attacks on him has gotten higher and higher, and it's really disappointing to see. And the politicization of decisions like the hydroxychloroquine has been amazing to me. Before the president said anything about it, there was fair and balanced coverage of this very promising drug, and the fact that it had such a long track record, that the risks were pretty well known. And as soon as he said something positive about it, the media's been on a jihad to discredit the drug. It's quite strange.
There's a
Truth! Truth! That is, I mean, it's funny. There were times
surprised at how
prior to him saying a word about it, there were a couple snippets about it that were, sounded positive, and all of a sudden, as soon as he started talking about it, the entire media said, fuck it. That's not true. He does it without evidence. He's this and that. And here's another section. Oh, no, that's the partisan during the pandemic. And, Ahmed and Baba. Attacking governors claiming they don't appreciate them is not Trump being statements like, well, that was before they attacked him, dumb ass. And then they started attacking him, so he said something about it. Barr is not a doctor and should keep quiet about hydroxychloroquine. Okay. Why? You can't have an opinion about it? He didn't say prescribe it. He didn't say anything. He said all he said is as soon as Trump started talking about it, you assholes started being little dumbasses about it. Anyway, right-wing media has been misleading about the unproven drug. Jihad, really, Barr? Okay, whatever. Moving on. That's why he's trending. Moving on. MILBA. What?
What is that minor league baseball at home opener? Oh, it's an MILBA home opener giveaway bonanza. We have something to give away every single hour. Retweet your chance to win and reply what giveaway you're most excited for a bonus entry. Hurry, the sooner you enter, the more chances you have to win. Apparently it was supposed to be minor league baseball home opener day, and that's why everyone's tweeting that. Or the minor league baseball opening day, which we're not having that either. And I think we already missed baseball's opening days. So anyway, let's see. And now some of minor league baseball's finest Star Spangled Banner performances. Oh my gosh, let's see.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
All right, we got the idea. So people are talking about that. Another 6.6 million jobless claims filed, bringing the total to over 16 million. The unemployment rate is now close to 13%, the worst since the Great Depression. USCIS will still continue to process new OPT work permits and HB1 visas. Why? That I have that question too. But you know, it's kind of funny. This is good. Now, somehow this is going to be a talking point blamed on the president. Really? Is that gonna stick? I've got a question if that's gonna stick. It's just weird. Anyway, that's not good news. Clearly, the jobless rate is due again. When you tell people, particularly the last two rounds. When you tell people they can't go to work, and then employers say, well, if we lay you off, you can go into unemployment insurance, and then you take that unemployment insurance and you make it write a bill that says you're going to get 100% of what you make plus $600. More people are going to file for unemployment if they can't work through this Coronapocalypse. So this is not a shocker. It shouldn't be a shocker to anybody. It should not. Nobody should be surprised at this at all. But you know what? It is a bloody shirt that the media is going to be waving like a motherfucker. Okay, because Trump's greatest accomplishment, or whatever, the thing he touted the most, was how great the economy was. Well, like I say often, Bill Maher got his wish. We need a good recession to get this president out of here, and that's good. So this is going to be the bloody shirt. Peter Baker, another 6.6 million filed for unemployment in just 3 weeks. More than 16 million Americans have lost their jobs, more losses than the latest recession produced over 2 years. It's as if the economy as a whole has fallen into some sudden black hole. Chief White House correspondent for the New York Times and MSNBC analyst. It's great to put it in those stark terms. Anyone think that they're touting this is going to work? Oh, Dean Obadiah! Yes! Our favorite Trump derangement syndrome person other than the Krasstein brothers, Brian Krasstein and his uglier twin brother. With Joe Biden as the presumptive Democratic nominee, it's time to get equal time as Trump in press conferences. Biden needs to lay out a plan how he will reduce unemployment and create jobs, given another 6.6 million losing jobs this week. Unemployment is now highest since the Depression. Yes, it is. And again, what's happening in the world right now, Dean Obadiah? Is this an organic loss of jobs through bad economic policy? Or, hello Chicago Mike, or is this due to certain current events around the world? The entire world? Katie Tur from NBC, another 6.6 million jobless claims. That's in addition to the now adjusted 6.9 million claims last week. This is what the fuck's this guy? Why are there another 6.6 million unemployed people and none of them is named Bill O'Reilly? Oh yeah, Fox gave him a big golden parachute for sexually assaulting women, and now there's no way to shut his pie hole. Sick stuff, folks. Bill O'Reilly, what? So that was his contract. What do you? Oh my God. Bill O'Reilly gives him a macabre take on mass number of coronavirus deaths. Many were on their last. Like many people who've got this have other morbidity issues that they already had. Okay, now this could be the factor that caused them to pass, and that's why they're counting them. But okay, is it untrue? Some people, it's almost like they're reporting this with great joy and triumph in their voices. I don't know if it's going to work. Monday, Thursday, and this is part of Church Holy Week. I'm just going to skip that one for now. Rest in peace, Lonnie. The husband of the grandma who accidentally invited a teenager to Thanksgiving has passed away of COVID-19. If you don't know this story, here's the story. This is kind of it was a hardware story, but now it turned to take a sad turn. Come on, Newsweek, scroll. Tributes have been paid to the late husband of an Arizona grandmother who gained viral fame after she inadvertently invited a stranger to Thanksgiving dinner. Lonnie Dench, husband to Wanda Dench, died on Sunday, April 5th, days after contracting the coronavirus. Following the news of his death, tens of thousands of people paid their respects on social media, resulting in Rest in Peace Lonnie becoming one of the top trends on Twitter. The news was shared on social media by the Thanksgiving stranger turned family friend Jamal Hinton, who had previously revealed that the Denches both had contracted COVID-19. Hinton and Wanda Dench are known for striking an unlikely friendship after she accidentally texted the then 19-year-old in 2016, thinking it was her grandson, to ask if he would be coming around for the holiday meal. Despite the mix-up, Hinton accepted the invitation and went to celebrate Thanksgiving with the family and kept the tradition in 2017, 2018, and 2019. On April 2nd, Hinton shared Twitter photographs of himself with Lonnie and Wanda Dench while revealing that Lonnie is fighting both COVID-19 and pneumonia. So it's kind of a sad story. There's a picture of the kid. She accidentally texted this kid, and he made a joke about coming to Thanksgiving dinner. She said, well, hey, why don't you come on over anyway? And so he's been celebrating Thanksgiving with his family the last 3 years. And unfortunately, her husband has passed away. That's sad. It was such a heartwarming story that these two have become such good friends, and now they're battling the disease. So that's kind of sad. Moving on. Fusion Reborn. That's just some music stuff I'm going to skip. Skip Chris Johnson to sports. Purple Rain. What? Purple Rain. Let's see. If Purple Rain get on Apple Music, you're going to hear Inside the Mattress Every Day. Okay, so apparently Apple's adding some new music to its library. And this is some other dude that it's not Purple Rain. Like, fuck that. I don't care about that shit. If it's not Prince, it's not Purple Rain. Get off my screen. Today is Thursday. 10% of U.S. It's a part of unemployment. I'd love to see people bitching about unemployment. Bill O'Reilly's trending too. I'm not going to go into that. We kind of got through that. 10% of the U.S. labor force is now out of work since the virus slammed the economy, at 6.6 million filed for jobs. The stock market is responding positively to 10% of U.S. labor force having applied for unemployment, with millions more unemployed but not being able to file yet. Says all anyone needs to know about how disconnected the stock market is from the lived reality of most Americans. No, it has nothing to... They're sort of related, but they're not. The stock market can go up and down on all kinds of different news. It could be going up on the fact that the cases are going down, that the cases have been plateaued. Just, y'all, if you don't understand what you're talking about, whether or not the stock market goes up and down, just keep your pie hole shut. Seriously? Okay, so that's why the 10%. Anything else interesting on here? Art Laffer. Why is Art Laffer trending? Art Laffer, the godfather of tax cuts for the rich and trickle-down economics, which gave us historic inequality, is being floated by Republicans to head up a task force to reopen the country, because of course he is. Okay. And Armand Girardras, a man named Art Laffer, is being floated as the head of the new task force to bring the economy back. So I'd like to remind you of the time I visited the Candyland of his mind. Okay. This is an Al Jazeera clip. I'm going to skip. People hate Art Laffer. I had to tell Art that the 80s called and wanted their ideas back, but he didn't take this as an insult. He's a proud 80s guy, so if you want Reaganomics as a solution to the pandemic, support Art Laffer's candidacy to run the task. Well, let me just tell you something. If you knew what the United States was like prior to Art Laffer and the Reagan administration, and how shit the economy was in 1980, 1979, 1970, pretty much the entire 70s because of several factors. And the fact that the economy did get turned around in the 80s, whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, whether or not the boom from the mid 80s through basically the mid 90s and early 2000s, that was all because of Art Laffer. Now, you may not like how it turned out. It didn't create more inequality. It created the entire boat rising and the entire country getting back to work and people having jobs that they didn't have during the malaise of the late 70s. So regardless if you don't like what you have that trickle down economics, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? More jobs, more people working. Yes, I remember the gas embargo, Gun Fox. Absolutely, I remember that. I was a kid, but I do remember that. Watching the lines at the gas stations, and you know, it was it's fuck. Now, fortunately, I was a kid, and kids are stupid, and so I didn't know. Even though you see things from when you're a kid, I was fortunate enough to be a kid, and just I had my life, and I played with my friends, and didn't worry about it as much. But I know my parents worried. I know that getting gas was sometimes tricky, although it wasn't so bad in Nebraska. But so the idea that Art Laffer is this terrible human being because of the 80s, the Reaganomics that at least got the country back going, you know, not maybe to everyone's liking, but at least the country got back to going, and that continued through Bush, through Clinton, through Bush, the second Bush, and even though there was that nasty hiccup in 2008, I credit that time that for the country getting back to, you know, back to being a producer instead of a loser, because we sucked in the late 70s. So sorry people who hate Art Laffer. Jerome Powell's trending probably something similar. I'm not even 10% of the U.S. That's the unemployment rate. All right. So that's it for today on the Morning Night Live. You know what? Let me do a quick hashtag check. I know I might have to wait till tomorrow to really get into this, but hash PDK News. Oh, why is that not working? Anything new in the hashtag? Oh. Let's see. Death certificates being falsified. Oh my gosh. You know what? We're going to do hashtag tomorrow because there's a whole bunch of stuff on here. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the hashtag. The one in particular that I want to take a quick look at, though, UPI. No, that's not the one. Hang on. This is the one. Here's the one from Pirate Pete that I'm going to show you. I predict that within 60 days, and likely sooner, the media will start to publish op-eds questioning the seriousness of COVID-19 pandemic and claiming it was Trump who hyped it to make himself seem like a hero before the election. Count on it. Oh, no doubt they're going to do that. They're going to do that. It's what's funny, if you saw, there was a tweet by Chris Hayes yesterday saying something to that nature, that there was he kind of floated this little conspiracy theory that those numbers they said that we're going to have, the deaths that we might have being 100 to 200,000, he hinted that, wow, were those really out there to be a warning, or were they to make Trump a hero when they revised those numbers down? But the problem is the numbers were coming from a think tank at the University of Washington, which is no friend to Donald Trump. But that's 100%. I bet you that's gonna happen. I agree with that 100%. And then Jack Cochran sent me this one. We'll do this one right here. This is from the UPI. No miraculous recovery. Some ICU doctors say hydroxychloroquine isn't helping the sickest patients. Many doctors suspect that if the drug does turn out to be beneficial, it may work better early on in the course of the illness. You know what? Look, I said this from the beginning. We hope that hydroxychloroquine is, some anecdotal evidence that it is helping. There's also evidence that it's not helping. There's some evidence that mixing it with zinc helps. There's about 9 different drugs they're all looking at to see if they can help with the seriousness of symptoms from this COVID-19. But this is someone named Erica Edwards. Federal government's guidance on emergency use of the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine for COVID-19 patients may have actually set the medication up for failure. That's because the guidance limits the drug usage to those sick enough to be hospitalized. Many doctors suspect, however, that if the drug does turn out to be beneficial, it may work better early in the course of the illness. That's the case for any therapeutic. Dr. George Diaz, an infectious disease specialist at Providence Regional Medical Center in Everett, Washington, said, generally, the earlier you use it, the more effective it is. Antiviral treatments work by reducing the amount of the virus in the body. They're best given early on as symptoms are starting and the viral load is still low. For example, Tamiflu, an antiviral used to treat the flu, works better the earlier the person takes it. When you give somebody who is already super sick, it's likely not going to make an impact because the damage is already done. So there you go. At least anecdotally, a handful of critical care physicians across the country have told NBC News they've seen no evidence the drug is helping their sickest patients in intensive care. Well, of course, their sickest patients in intensive care. We've been using it, said Dr. Hugh Kassir, a pulmonologist and medical director of respiratory care services, medical director, at North Shore University Hospital, Long Island, New York, the hotspot for the pandemic in the United States. But we haven't really seen any efficacy. Okay. How are they using it? And who? Let's see. I'm not convinced it works, said Lynn Q, adding, I've not seen anybody have anything near what I call a miraculous recovery because of hydroxychloroquine. Okay, fine. Then find out the doctors who say they have and see how you did it differently. Okay? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And the first time I showed you the one doctor that I said, you know what, I have no idea who this guy is, so I have no idea if it's true. I said, test it. And I agree. If some doctors have results, find out who those doctors are, how they're having those results, and then see if they can duplicate it. It very well could be just a thing that it's very well something that someone who is going to recover anyway took it. I don't know, but test it, because there are doctors who are saying that combined with certain things, they've been able to reduce some people's symptoms of the virus. And on that note, it's time for me to go. I hope you enjoyed the very soothing background music today. Today is R&B and Soul Day. Just not because I have an R&B and Soul Day. That's what I picked today. Hope you guys are all going to have a great day. If you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up button before you go out the door. And just a reminder, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT here at the Morning Night Live. If you like what you did, hit a thumbs up, duck dog, do your thing. And please share the stream if you're watching live or if you're watching after the fact. Please hit the arrow down there, share. It takes a couple clicks, share it on your favorite social media. We're growing slowly, but we're growing. That's a good thing. See new people in the chat all the time. And finally, if you'd like to help the channel out in a financial manner, you can throw a couple bucks in the tip jar using the Streamlabs link in the description down below, or just right here at pdognight.live. See that right there? This thing right here? Right there, okay? So thanks again, everybody. I hope your Thursday goes well. We'll be back here tomorrow at the same time, same bat channel. My name is PDogNight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDogNight, and thank you for watching today on the PDog channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDogNight, and I'm out of here.